Hello everyone, this is Ranjeet, your maths teacher. Once again, I welcome you in your channel Maths Mitra. In the last video, we have seen the properties of special types of quadrilateral. But in the last video, we have discussed only about these three, means about a square, rectangle, rhombus. About these three, we have already explained. Now, in this video, you will find the properties of these three, rest of the special types of quadrilateral. So here let's start with parallelogram first. So that I am writing it here, parallelogram. Okay, with the diagram, first of all I'll try to understand which kind of shape it is. So parallelogram, in this you will find, if I say this is A, B, C, D, opposite sides are equal and parallel, means the same this side I'll put. Okay, this is the symbol of parallel. And if I talk about angles, the opposite angles you will find equal, and the sum of any two consecutive angles, it will always make 180 degree. So this is one of the property of angle. Now about the diagonals, so for the diagonals you will say diagonals bisect each other. Fine. So we have to know about three things, as we have done in the last video also. We talk about, once again I am telling you, about the sides, about the angles and about the diagonals. So here let's see one by one. First of all, I write about sides. For the sides I have told you, now in parallelogram you will find opposite sides are equal and parallel. Okay, so you will write same here, opposite sides are equal and parallel. The next property is related to its angles, that I am writing. For the angles you can write opposite angles are equal and sum of any two consecutive angles, it will always make 180 degree. So I can write here opposite angles are equal and sum of any two consecutive angles is always 180 degree. Now we will write for diagonals. So for the diagonals you will write diagonals bisect each other. Only this much, not at 90 degree. It is not written here. Means it is not fixed. It can be 90, but it is not fixed that it surely will be of 90 degree. Okay, so that is why we simply write it here, diagonals bisect each other. This much only. The next one, this was all about parallelogram. The next one we have to know about this done. We have to know about trapezium. So trapezium, once again about it, first of all we will see a diagram. With the diagram only we will try to understand which kind of shape is called a trapezium. Okay, so first I make that trapezium. So trapezium, in this you'll find one pair of opposite sides is parallel to each other and one will be non-parallel. If I say this is A, B, C, D is a trapezium, so you'll find one pair of opposite sides is parallel to each other, fine, and one will be non-parallel. So for the sides you can write one pair of opposite sides are parallel and another pair of opposite sides are non-parallel. Okay, this. So it means that AD will be parallel to BC, but AB will not be parallel to CD. Okay, so we have to talk about the angles. For the angles, what you'll say? You see these AB and CD, these two are non-parallel sides. So at this non-parallel side, one of the non-parallel side you will find two angles. If you add these two, you will get always 180 degree. Okay, this is exactly co-interior angles, that is why it will happen. So here for the angles, what I'll write? Sum of angles existing on non-parallel side. Okay, so we can write sum of angles existing at the ends of non-parallel side is always 180 degree. This is another property of angles. So means A plus B will be 180 degree, and in the same way angle C plus angle D will be also 180 degree. So for the angles I have done. Now we have to discuss about diagonals also. So there are no such property about the diagonals. We will simply say diagonals intersect each other. You can see. Okay, so being intersected. So you write here about the diagonals. Diagonals intersect each other. Diagonals intersect each other. Okay. Next one we have to discuss about kite. For the kite, first I make a diagram, then after it will become easy to understand. Yeah, this is a figure of kite saying A, B, C, D. You will find in this kite AB will be equals to AD, means one pair of consecutive sides will be equals to each other and another pair will be also equal. Consecutive sides, the pair of consecutive sides will be equal to each other, means AB and AD will be equals to each other, and in that way BC and CD also will be equals to each other. About the angles, you will say this angle B and this angle D, one pair of opposite angles are equal to each other. Okay, so angle B, if it is 130 degree, so it also will be automatically 130 degree. And about the diagonals, there are two diagonals of course. One is longer and another one is shorter. So what you will find here, you can observe it, the longer one is bisecting the shorter one. Okay, so it means longer diagonal will always bisects the shorter one. So that you write. Means if BD is 8 centimeter long, so it will become OB equals to OD. Means OB will be 4 and OD also will be 4 centimeter. But it doesn't mean that OA and OC will be also equal. Okay, only the longer diagonal will bisect the shorter one. Okay, so first of all I write the sides, write about the sides only. For the sides, what you write, I told you now. Directly I can write here according to this diagram. Okay, AB will be equals to BD and AB will be equals to AD, sorry, and in that way BC will be equals to CD. You can write it one pair of consecutive sides are equal to each other. Yeah. Okay. Next one about the angles. So only one pair of opposite angles are equal to each other. Okay, so you write it, only one pair of opposite angles are equal to each other. Okay, so it means what? Angle B here, according to this diagram only, angle B will be equals to angle D. Yeah. About the diagonals, you can say the longer diagonal will bisect the shorter diagonal. The longer diagonal will bisect the shorter one. Shorter diagonal I write. Okay. So here we have seen the properties of all the special 6 types of quadrilaterals, and now we are friendly, I think, with the properties of all the special types of quadrilateral. One more thing is there about we categorize it also. Like a square, when you go through the square, rectangle, rhombus, the properties of these three, you will find this is like the property of parallelogram. Okay, so you can compare, you just compare and tell me in and if you have any problem in comparing, you must write in comment box. I'll give you reply about that. So one thing is this. Okay, so when you will observe the properties of these three, you will find it is equivalent to parallelogram, and that is why I suggest to the students that you must write in the note like all the square will be a rhombus, but all the rhombus cannot be a square. In that way, rectangle, if I compare about the rectangle and parallelogram, all the parallelogram will not be a rectangle, but all the rectangle can be a parallelogram. Yeah. Okay. Another one is there trapezium. In trapezium, one more thing I have to say, as I have made a diagram here, in this you will find, of course, the trapezium means one pair will be parallel to each other and another will be non-parallel. Okay, but sometimes you will find this non-parallel sides are also equal to each other. Okay, So if you find this non-parallel sides equal to each other, in that moment you will say this is of course a trapezium, but a special type of trapezium it is, and that will be known by a name isosceles trapezium. Okay, so I write it here. It is a trapezium. This is parallel, and this non-parallel sides I am representing it here equal to each other. Rest all the properties will remain same, there will be no confusion, okay, in it. Only if these two sides, these two non-parallel sides are equal in any of the trapezium, we will call it by isosceles trapezium. Fine. So that's all for this video. Now I think we are very much friendly with the properties of special types of quadrilateral. We are knowing the different properties also. In the next video we will start knowing the uses of these properties. Okay, we will solve few questions as well, and we will see there in that video that how we use the properties there and how we solve the different questions. Okay, so till then keep watching me and start learning from home only. Be safe there. Thank you.